St. Louis, are we ready to do this?
While St. Louis became the 28th team to join MLS, Rivalry Week kicked off on Wednesday as the Red Bulls won in DC. The weekend served up a feast of derby action too, with no less than 8 highly charged rivalry matchups. The first in our review is the latest instalment of El Tráfico.
A burgeoning rivalry, fresh yet fierce, and the next chapter is about to be written. Vela ensures that they lead 3 minutes into the derby. It's lovely from Zlatan, it's fantastic! Ibrahimovic, again the man for the grand occasion. Hat-trick, storylines abound with this man, a true Hollywood entertainer.
Your commentators are Sam Parkin and Dan Roebuck.
Here's an opportunity for Pavon and Zlatan! What a start! Inside the opening 2 minutes. Incredible.
And that's just fantastic individual skill. Ibrahimovic has a little look at the goalkeeper and he knows exactly where the target is and drills it into the near post.
Beitashour wants it. Diomande waits. Vela back towards Beitashour. The flag has stayed down here. Hoisted up towards the far post. Pressing 1-1. Well, they're appealing to the assistant on this near side. We are level in El Tráfico at 1-1.
I think it's a really good header on the far post from Rossi. Why he's completely unopposed, I do not know. He creeps in round the back. It's very close for offside. And Blessing has the simple task just to nod it over the line.
Here we go again. Alvarez. This is Zlatan. Flag has stayed down. Beats the keeper. Finds the net. He's done it again. And the Galaxy have their noses in front once more.
Incredible start to the game. It's Alvarez, isn't it, with the pass. Zimmerman just leaves Ibrahimovic to just waltz in behind him. It's a perfect finish.
Alvarez wins it back. Galaxy are on their way again. They lead by 2 goals to 1. This time it's Pavon on the left-hand side. Ibrahimovic on the right. Still Pavon. Cuts inside. Finds the corner. Galaxy have scored another. Pavon, his first goal in MLS, comes in the derby.
Alvarez nicks it. He's got 2 options. He can go right, he goes left to Pavon. Shot squirms into the near post. What a start to this match, and what a start that Pavon's been having.
And AFC looking to get one more back before the break. 2 minutes at the end of the 45. Feels about right. Vela with a curler. Might break through for Blessing. Still going. Must score. And AFC have got one back. Vela tried to play it through towards Diomande, who was in an offside position. That didn't matter because Blessing wasn't.
The right decision. Assistance. Flag stays down. Diomande would have been offside. Blessing level. And it's another accomplished finish.
Forward towards Carlos Vela. And now Kay. Shirts swarming all round the Galaxy wide. This is Vela with a finish! The skipper comes to the party and levels up the score.
When you want someone to pick the pass, Kay has done it wonderfully so far this evening. And they just get drawn in field, LA Galaxy. They all get sucked towards the middle of the pitch. And the movement of Vela, how many times has he done that this season? Opened his body, just slides it beyond the goalkeeper.
The standout performer in the standout side, and he could be in again here. Rossi calling for it in the 6-yard box. Bingham collects. Just what is the issue, though, with Carlos Vela, I wonder? Clutching the right hamstring.
That's going to be the end of Vela's night, is it?
He's furious that he's got the hook here, I think, and Bob Bradley's going to have to explain the situation.
Yeah, he's clearly not happy, but I mean, if it's any form of muscle injury, there's no point in taking the risk.
He's furious. In comes the corner outswinger this time. Zimmerman with a header. Diamande can't force it in. Another big chance.
Doesn't know whether to go with his foot or his head. In the end, it kind of comes off his knee, his midriff, and goes beyond the far post. What a chance.
What's hanging over our heads is beating the Galaxy. When you don't do it, then there's a part to it that still stings, and it'll continue to hang over our heads. But what goes with that is the part of continuing to grow as a team, and I still think most are going in the right direction.
From one of the league's newest rivalries to one of its oldest, as the Seattle Sounders headed for Portland, hoping to put a poor run behind them. The Sounders had won just one of their last 6 games, but took the lead here 22 minutes in. Christian Roldan tapping in after excellent wide play from Jordan Morris. Just over 2 minutes into the second half, Morris was at it again. Another weaving run, and this time a goal for Raul Ruidiaz. A sumptuous finish for his 10th of the season. A 2-0 Cascadia advantage for the Sounders. 7 minutes after falling further behind, though, Portland gave themselves hope. Diego Valeri with a free kick that took a huge deflection off Ruidiaz and wrong-footed Stefan Fry. The wind was in Valeri's sails, and just before the hour, he came close to an equalising goal. A swerving shot this time that Fry did well to keep out. And from the follow-up, an even better chance as Christian Paredes headed wide. The Portland pressure kept coming, and as the Sounders hung on to their 1-goal advantage, the Timbers thought that they'd wiped it out. Valeri's cross turned home by Brian Fernandez, whose celebrations were cut short by the raising of an assistant's flag. Correctly, as it turned out. The Timbers would create one final chance to draw themselves level, a minute from the end of 7 in added-on time. Valeri's volleyed cross headed over by Sebastian Blanco. The chance gone, the Sounders holding on to lift the Cascadia Cup for 2019.
Minnesota United defender Ike Opara was afforded a warm welcome on his return to Sporting Kansas City, where he'd spent 6 years of his MLS career. And it was the 30-year-old who had one of the better first-half chances at Children's Mercy Park. SKC offered the greater threat, though clear opportunities were at a premium. Eric Hurtado denied there by Vito Mannone. Hurtado's cut and thrust summed up an urgency from SKC, who needed points to stay within touching distance of the playoffs. But Mannone kept him at bay once more. However, with 2 minutes left, Johnny Russell's sumptuous through ball was an invitation for Hurtado to make this one count. His second goal in 6 appearances, keeping Sporting Kansas City's playoff hopes very much alive.
The Rocky Mountain Cup was at stake in Utah as RSL hosted the Colorado Rapids, and with Freddie Juarez's team having won 3 of their last 4, there were high hopes amongst the home fans. The Rapids opened surprisingly well and should have gone in front 27 minutes in. Nick Raimondo's save from Tommy Smith's header, leading to an almighty scramble in the 6-yard box, which somehow ended with the score still goalless. And Colorado were competitive and heading for a hard-earned draw, until an incident 3 minutes from time edged things in RSL's favour. A high tackle from Kai Kamara on Brooks Lennon, and a straight red card from Ted Uncle. As the game ticked over the 90, RSL thought that they'd won it. Joao Plata's shot deflected, and then Jefferson Savarino driving it across for Damir Krajlac to score. Wild celebrations, which were cut short when Savarino was adjudged on review to have been offside. Time running out, and the game still goalless. In the 6th minute of added-on time, RSL was still pushing, and this time, remarkably, they got their reward. Plata's cross handled by Lala Sabubakar, who was slightly unfortunate to be penalised with a penalty. Plata himself stood up to take the spot kick and just about forced it past Tim Howard. Cue bedlam amongst the RSL fans.
And there was still time for a goal to ice the Rocky Mountain cake. Albert Rusnak with a run and cross, and Savarino able to side foot home. The Rapids' new coach, Robin Fraser, will take them forward now. RSL are heading for an exciting end to their campaign and dreaming of a bigger cup than this one.
San Jose Earthquakes assistant coach Benjamin Galindo assumed the main duties pitchside in the absence of head coach Matias Almeida, who was serving a touchline ban. It was a rude awakening against the Vancouver Whitecaps, who took a 6-minute lead through right-back Jacob Nowinski, his first goal in what was his 68th MLS appearance. But it would prove to be a rare foray forward for the Whitecaps. Exactly a minute later, the Quakes equalised through Judson, who also celebrated his first goal in Major League Soccer. San Jose proceeded to pepper the Vancouver goal and went in front through the league's all-time leading goalscorer, Chris Wondolowski. That was goal number 155. The Quakes were relentless in their pursuit of goals. Vaco was denied by Whitecaps keeper Maxime Crepeau, who would go on to have the busiest night of his career. In all, Crepeau made 16 saves, breaking a 22-year-old MLS record. He could do nothing, though, about San Jose's third goal, a neatly dispatched effort from substitute Andres Rios, who was making only his third league appearance. San Jose went on to break 2 records of their own, 43 total shots, including 19 on target. But in defeat, it was Crepeau who was the undoubted man of the match.
El Capitan was at stake in the Texas derby as Houston's interim coach Davey Arnaud took his team to an FC Dallas side that had won only 1 of their previous 5. Houston's form has been desperate, though, and they were soon behind here. Jose Bizarma's foul on Dominic Badji and a chance from the penalty spot for Reto Ziegler. One that he took convincingly. That goal 24 minutes in opened the door for FC Dallas, and 5 minutes later they'd made it 2. The 18-year-old Jesus Ferreira with his 7th of an excellent season. A splendid solo effort. The home team's Czech centre-forward Zdeněk Ondřešek had scored a first MLS goal last week against Montreal, and he added to that tally here an expert finish from a Ryan Hollingshead cross 11 minutes into the second half. And 8 minutes after that, Ondřešek had a 2nd of the night and 3rd of the season. Badji the provider this time. It was a terrible night for the Dynamo, who scored a consolation goal 10 minutes from the end through their substitute Memo Rodriguez. But this could have been an even bigger humiliation. First, Ferreira had a goal disallowed, and then in the 6th minute of added-on time, Michael Barrios did make it 5, taking advantage of some penalty area indecision. Dallas, by some distance, currently the best in Texas.
It was the New York Red Bulls who took the Hudson River Derby bragging rights back in July.
Into the box, Castro is in, goal! 2-1. Red Bulls.
But NYCFC went into the return at Yankee Stadium 3 points ahead of their bitter rivals in the playoff mix.
What a finish this is from Tati Castellanos.
Commentary comes from Dave Farrell.
Picked up by Caceres. Here's Alex Muil. Oh, lovely bit of play, and Muil's in! And the New York native gives the Red Bulls the lead in the derby. Lovely, slick build-up play. Great finish, Alex Muil. Swung in by Tinnerholm. Now Matarrita. Measures the cross for Castellanos. Oh, and they're unfortunate. Lawrence gets it away. Castellanos comes so close. There's Muil with a touch for Murillo. Nicely played again for Alex Muil, and Bradley Wright Phillips with a golden chance to make it 2. that somehow he spurns just onside and couldn't finish. And it gets worse every time you look at it. Hit long here for Castellanos. Is Eber! They hit the woodwork again, and now Maxi Morales on the follow-up. Still not finished. Saved by Robles. What a strike this is from Eber. Surely their time will come. Slip forward towards Morales, shove in the back. Kevin Stott thinks about it, and he's given the penalty. Morales then with the chance to draw them level, and they have the equaliser that they richly deserve. Nothing Robles could do. Here's Castellanos. Oh, it's great, intrepid play from Castellanos, off the post again! And Eber couldn't get there. Not their night. 3 times now they've hit the woodwork. Scintillating from NYCFC. Here comes Tinner, home for Eber! Finally, NYCFC in front. And it had to be him. 13 for the season now for Eber. Huge credit too goes to Tinner home. Here's Anton Tinner home again. Going to go on his own this time and still going. Robles with the save. And Keaton Parks can't finish. It's a miss to rival that of Bradley Wright Phillips in the first half. Trying to give it one last desperate gamble here, the Red Bulls. That's a poor challenge from Matarrita. It's getting a bit edgy now, the derby. Matarrita and Murillo. Oh, Matarrita aims a headbutt there at Murillo. And he's going to be in trouble. They'll ask Kevin Stott to look at that. Can't do this. Crazy from Matarrita. It'll be a second MLS red card for him. Matarrita's off. New York City FC hold on to win it by 2-1.
Now it's the time to our team grow up again, play nice football like we play today, with confidence. We possess the ball, it's our game, and of course when we play on derby and we win, we get more confidence.
Orlando City's game at home to MLS Cup holders and Eastern Conference leaders Atlanta United was their 3rd meeting in all competitions this season. Atlanta, who had prevailed in both matches, needed goalkeeper Brad Guzan to stop Tesho Akindele from giving Orlando an early lead at Exploria Stadium. Guzan was called into action again from the subsequent corner, diverting Lamine Sané's header into safety. There appears to be no end to Joseph Martinez's remarkable run of goal scoring. And on the hour mark, the Atlanta striker coolly converted for the 12th league game in a row. It was his 17th goal in that 12-game run. Orlando had not beaten the Five Stripes in their 7 previous MLS meetings, and despite their best efforts and a better shot count, struggled to find a way back into the game. Carlos Asquez agonisingly close to an equaliser. The opportunities kept on coming for Orlando, who in many cases only had themselves to blame for failing to find the target. Akindele wastefully wide. They were almost punished again for their profligacy midway through the second half, when Martinez escaped the Lions' defence only to be thwarted by the woodwork. Only one on the night for Atlanta's goal machine, but it was enough to keep the Five Stripes top of the standings in the East.
The Philadelphia Union are right in the thick of the battle at the top of the Eastern Conference, and they hosted a DC United team who were somehow still in playoff contention despite winning only 3 of their previous 16 games. The Union soon went in front here, Kai Wagner and Brendan Aronson combining to tee up Kacper Shibilko to make it 1-0 5 minutes in. 11 minutes after that, Philadelphia had a second goal. This time, Aronson benefiting from some poor defending, which allowed him time to pick his spot past Bill Hamid. And after 2 slick passing moves, time for an individual goal. Ilsinho able to trace a path through with his jinking run. A moment of brilliance to make it 3-0 just 36 minutes in. DC did at least rally in the second half. Luciano Acosta was starting for the first time in 4, and having not scored or assisted since June the 1st, he made an impact here. 3-1 and still over half an hour to play, but the Union held on and are looking good towards the top of the East.
Just 9 days after leaving the Houston Dynamo, Wilmer Cabrera was back in the dugout, replacing Remy Gard as the new coach of the Montreal Impact for the 4-1 derby away to Toronto. He couldn't have wished for a better start to his tenure when new signing Bojan fired the Impact into a 49th minute lead. It had been almost 10 months since Toronto midfielder Marky Delgado had scored an MLS goal. 18 minutes into the second half, he took advantage of Evan Bush's inviting clearance to put TFC level. Toronto's continued persistence crucially paid off again with only 9 minutes remaining. Left back Justin Morrow applying enough power to his effort to beat Bush and give TFC a lead they wouldn't relinquish. Defeat for Cabrera on his Montreal debut.
The New England Revolution hadn't won in 3 and were hoping to get the Bruce Arena project back on track as they hosted a Chicago Fire side who were also knocking on the playoff door. The first goal was always going to be key, and it was New England who scored it. Brandon Bye's cross turned in by Wilfried Zahibo, 17 minutes in. Chicago levelled 4 minutes before half-time. Nicolas Gaitan's free kick was poorly defended. Francisco Calvo headed home his 3rd goal of the season for the Fire. Gustavo Bo has been a massive presence for the Revs since he joined them in July, and he made it 5 goals in 7 MLS starts, 4 minutes from the end. A thrilling winner that keeps New England in the hunt and deals a big blow to Chicago.
To our final game, the Hell is Real derby between Ohio clubs FC Cincinnati and the Columbus Crew, who had drawn their only other MLS meeting 2 weeks previously. Michael van der Werf, who had been signed in July to strengthen Cincinnati's defence, almost made his presence felt at the other end of the field after only 17 minutes. His primary duty was to contain Columbus striker Jazi Zardes, something he was unable to do just a few minutes later. Zardes escaped the Dutchman's attention to score his 10th league goal of the season. 11 minutes later, Columbus's number 11 scored goal number 11 to extend the visitors' lead and give them a 2-goal advantage. If Cincinnati didn't have enough ground to make up, they were undone again in added time at the end of the first half. Luis Diaz powering his way through to score his first goal for Columbus and make it 3-0 at the break. Cincinnati's solitary response came in the penultimate minute of the game through Kakuta Mane's consolation goal. A 19th defeat of the season for Cincinnati, who only outscored their opponents when it came to yellow cards.
Columbus keep their faint playoff hopes alive with that win, but remain second bottom in the East. Toronto do jump above the line, though, thanks to their derby victory, and Atlanta maintain top position.
In the West, Minnesota dropped 3 places to 5th and it's RSL who now occupies second place after their Rocky Mountain Cup win. FC Dallas are back in the playoff spots, swapping places with the Portland Timbers.
We leave you with some of the standout moments from an enthralling rivalry week.
Vela ties the game! On this night, New York is blue. Martinez! He's done it again! He can't stop, and he won't stop.
This copyrighted telecast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.